Hey, Bulls and Bears, I hope everyone's doing well. Today, I'm out in front of a Bed Bath & Beyond. This store is closing. You can probably see the red banner over the doorway back there. Many of you may remember on this channel earlier this year, we talked about how Bed Bath & Beyond looks a lot like Kmart did before Kmart failed, before they went bankrupt. And when I was into the store earlier this year, junk all over the floor, the aisles were unkept, and it reminded me a lot of how Kmart looked before the company went under. And that's one of the first things that's done is they cut back on staffing and they cut back on straightening the shelves, and companies cut back, businesses cut back where they can before the final curtain is closed on the company. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond recently had to sell off over 14 million shares of its own stock in order to pay off bondholders. Now, why do businesses issue bonds? Well, it's essentially a way to raise money. It's an alternative to getting a loan or a business loan, and they agree to pay back the bondholders, which are basically investors. They pay them back with interest attached, right? So it's sort of like a loan, but it's decades out, kind of like a mortgage. You get a 30-year mortgage. Some of these bonds were not set to mature until 2044. So what they did, they exchanged their stock for a lot of these bonds in order to basically bring in the debt or pay off this debt, because it's a sign of distress. They didn't feel they were confident. They weren't confident that they were going to be able to pay off these bonds or pay towards these bonds with the interest attached. So they sold off over 14 million shares of stock. And yes, that is a sign of a distressed company. Now, we talked about just in our last report how many people were going to Walmart, and Walmart's seeing a big surge in higher income earners, and 100,000+ earners now are surging to Walmart as opposed to stores like this, which are home goods type of stores that are a lot more expensive for most items than Walmart. I would probably have to say every item more expensive than Walmart. So people, again, leaving these higher price stores, Macy's, Bed Bath & Beyond, and going now to Walmart. More people that shopped at Walmart going to thrift stores, and sadly going homeless and going into tents onto the streets, especially here in California, the #1 state for homeless people. All right, so just another sign right behind me, another, literally a sign, but another sign that the economy is really not as good as some people out there. I won't say any names, or I won't point out any groups, but some people want you to think this economy is great. It's the best damn economy that we've seen in a long time, because that unemployment number is super low. Well, if the unemployment number is super low, why are companies like Bed Bath & Beyond having trouble, right? Obviously, people are struggling. People are buried under mountains of debt. They have to cut back on their expenses. They have the high cost of living. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation. But I guess higher interest rates is going to fix all that pretty soon, right? All right, we talked about this. If higher interest rates were going to fix this, then they would have just came out and got and put it at a 10% funds rate right away. Problem fixed, no problem, right? Wrong. So they can't do that because there's so much debt out there. The economy is so leveraged. Households are leveraged. Businesses are leveraged. They are basically living on debt. Business loans, issuing bonds, right? Debt makes the world go round, basically. Just like a lot of consumers live on debt, so do these businesses. There's a lot of zombie companies out there that are just staying alive because of the ever-increasing amounts of debt that investors seem to still want to hold. Like, who would want to hold the debt of a company like Bed Bath & Beyond? It's pretty amazing. So they're going to go the way of Kmart. Bed Bath & Beyond is going to go the way of Sears. Ultimately, I think it's just a matter of time. Consumers are not going to get more money to come back and start shopping at places like this to a higher level. But maybe the increase in the payouts there to the senior citizens that we're seeing this year, the biggest increase in about 40 years. Maybe that's going to save the company. Maybe all these people getting these bigger payouts are going to come back and shop at the store and bring it back to life. And we're going to see new openings for the store, in other areas. Not going to happen. Goodbye, Bed Bath & Beyond. I would not want to be a holder of this stock right now. So big stock exchange in exchange for these bonds that were issued. And that's the story, folks. Also, we had a very, very bad report out of Target today. Next, let's talk about another major retailer, and that is Target. Target's profits plunged by 50% for the third quarter, and they're warning now of very soft holiday sales in a dismal, abysmal holiday shopping season. Do you think Target is correct? Well, I think the writing's on the wall with Bed Bath & Beyond and now Target. And if you look at the prices, Target's actually a little more expensive than Walmart for most items. And we see, of course, the surge in Walmart. And we just talked about in our previous report how Walmart's profits, a lot of it went to a huge stock buyback of about about $20 billion, which would have been about $8,000 per individual, per employee at that company if they would have spread it out across all of their employees. But of course, they'd rather buy back their own stock. That way, the higher level people that have a lot of the stock and the investors, they can make most of these profits. So that's what it's going to be. But Target is sending a warning. Profits down 50%. That's a pretty big plunge. Now, when you look at year over year numbers, keep in mind 2020 and 2021 were very unusual times of shopping as people shopped like we had not seen in decades because of the all the checks and the easy money and the forgiveness programs. It did cause a surge in shopping, especially online shopping, when a lot of people stuck at home or scared hiding at their house. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here, folks. What do you think about the Bed Bath & Beyond closing? What do you think about the warning coming out of Target? What's this holiday shopping season going to be like? It's actually started. Black Friday is coming up here in just a week, a little more than a week. All right, so we're going to wrap this one up here, and we'll talk to everybody very soon. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you like these updates. That way I can put out more content for everybody here. Thank you very much. Bye for now.